Certain keywords occur and recur in these hesychastic writings. We have listed the most important of them in a glossary, specifying the English words we have used in translating them and the sense we attribute to them. And we have also indicated where they first occur in the translation itself, but their real significance will be grasped only as the reader penetrates ever more deeply into the meaning of the passages in which they are to be found. Indeed, as he penetrates ever more deeply into the theory and practice of the spiritual path they help to signpost. Something similar applies with respect to the whole psychological understanding which these texts both presuppose and elucidate. In effect, one is confronted with the psychology or science of the soul, many of whose fundamental features, particularly perhaps in relation to the role of the demons, are completely unrecognized by not to say at odds with the theories of most modern psychologists. The contemporary reader, influenced directly or indirectly by these latter-day theories, may well be tempted to reject hesychastic psychology outright, but alternatively, he may be led first to question his own outlook and assumptions, and then to modify or even abandon them in the light of the understanding with which he is now confronted. In any case, how he reacts will depend very largely on the degree to which he perceives the inner coherence and relevance of this understanding, not only on the theoretical level, but also on the terms of his own experience. In this connection, it should be remembered that, however much the external appearances, and conditions of the world may change, such changes can never unroot the fundamental potentialities of the human state and of man's relationship with God, and as it is with these latter that the teaching and method of the Philokalia are concerned, the counsels it enshrines are as valid and effective today as they were at the times at which they were written. The English translation of the Philokalia is produced under the auspices and with the financial assistance of a charitable trust, the Elling Trust. The work of initial translation has been done by a group of scholars and collaborators, namely the Holy Transfiguration Monastery at Brookline, Massachusetts, Dr. Constantine Kavarnos of Boston, Father Basil Osborne of Oxford, and Father Norman Russell of the London Oratory. But the final version of the text has been prepared by and is the responsibility of the editorial committee set up by the trustees of the Elling Trust and consisting of G.E.H. Palmer, Dr. Philip Sherrard, and Archimandrite Callistos Ware. The task of checking against the Greek text for consistency in interpretation in the English translation has been undertaken by the two last named members of this committee, while all three have cooperated in establishing the definitive version of the translation itself. Although we've tried not to impose a uniformity of style, it is nonetheless inevitable that our translation should display less variety than the original text. These texts were written by authors who lived at various times in a period that stretches over 1,000 years and more, and who in addition came from many differing cultural backgrounds. Our translation extends over something like 10 years, and all those who contributed to it share, by and large, in but a single culture. In spite of this, we hope we have not suppressed entirely the distinctive flavor of the original text, and we hope, too, that those who prepared the initial translations will forgive us for the many changes made to their texts for the reasons we have stated. The fact that we have made these changes in no way lessens our deep gratitude to them. We should like to thank Father Palamas Kamantos of Simon-o-Petra Monastery on Mount Athos for his assistance, the monks of the Serbian Monastery of Chilindari on Mount Athos for their generous hospitality on two prolonged occasions, Mrs. Ian Busby for her invaluable work, and Miss Marguerite Langford for her assistance. Finally, the Elling Trust and the editorial committee would also like to express their gratitude to the Ingram Merrill Foundation of New York for a substantial grant provided to support this translation.